Am I on?
You're on.
Am I on? Hi. Boiler, very good boiler. These guys here, especially Burnham boilers for oil boilers, are really good for this scenario of what you got out here. Main things on boilers is the zone valves that you have right here. Each one of these represents a thermostat. So whatever thermostat is opening up, this is then sending heat to that area, because you can zone boiler heat for different places, you know, like your living room, kitchen, dining room, your bedrooms, your downstairs, your garage, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So this guy right here, this is called a secondary aquastat, and it's supposed to have it on it. Just that it's designed to shut down your boiler if by chance it happens to get too hot.
Okay.
This sets it on down. You have your bleeders. Basically on a boiler, what goes out of the boiler as far as superheated water, and it goes through your zone valves wherever it's designated to go, it has to come back. And usually the boiler tech tries to make this zone valve coordinate with this return, and vice versa, just right on up. So they just go right on up. As you see, the very top one is the top one. I could almost bet that he did exactly that here. Very rarely do you ever find one that's out of kink, you know, where that one doesn't represent. So this is a bleeder valve. So all the hot water is going out. If you have to bleed so that there's no air in the system, this is the garden hose you'd hook up. You'd run it to the outside or to a laundry sink, and now you open this on up and it bleeds out all the air out of the system if you had to do that, if there was something that needed to be done like that. Other than that, these guys right here, these two little silver guys, they're called air eliminators. If they're working right, they should eliminate the air out of the system without you having to bleed this off. But sometimes these get clogged up. That's why he has this little valve that once you shut this off like this, now you unscrew this thing, you buy another one. These cost about $8 I should say. And you just screw it back on and you open it up and bingo, you're back in biz. Okay? And they should never be all the way tight. See, this was just a little bit open, and that's to let air out. Okay? It's a neat little system. Other than that, this guy right down in here, this is of course your burner unit. If you're with Schlumberger, your whales have this kind of unit, but in a smaller form. It's a diesel fired thing, so you pretty well are up on how to keep these things clean. Once a year, you should have a service tech maybe take a good look at this and make sure that everything's working fine, because they do a lot of other tests to that. You got your view for your fire here. When you loosen this up, you can open this up and look into that for your fire. And other than that, you should have a shutoff. There should be a main shutoff, or there it is right there. That switch right up there shuts off your whole boiler.
Okay. That
right there. Now, if by chance your boiler does not work, and this will only happen when he gets on the plane and he's headed for Prudhoe Bay, the boiler won't work. You see that little silver box just below that switch?
Yes.
Okay. All you do is pinch the top and the bottom, and it opens up.
Okay.
There's a fuse in there, and that fuse is a very delicate fuse. Usually it's only like a 12 amp fuse or less, and so that fuse could burn out. So watch yourself, just don't step off. So if you do not have this, or let's say it was working and then all of a sudden it stopped working, one of my very first things I would check is that fuse.
Okay.
The second thing would be the breaker in the breaker panel box. That maybe it might have got tripped.
Okay.
So those are two things, because it might save you a trip to having a tech come out here for
that would be nice.
a $3 fuse.
Right.
Or just the breaker happen to trip. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so this is important. Other than that, just get them serviced. This guy right here, this is your Boilermate. This will keep all your hot water, your domestic hot water, really nice and warm, and it recovers like really super fast. You should never run out of hot water. I'm telling you.
Even with all the amount of kids we got.
Right. I'm
Okay.
telling you that because we have one.
Okay.
And ours is just a little bit bigger because of the size of a house. But actually, Boilermates do not